I never expected my 32nd birthday to be the day my life changed forever. And yet, as I floated in the observation deck of the stellar venture, sipping what passed for synthetic whiskey on this side of the galaxy, the warning lights blinked red, and an alert chimed in the soft, synthetic voice of the ship's AI. Captain Phazon, it said, though it knew I preferred simply Phazon. You have an incoming distress signal from Sector 47 Gamma. Signature indicates life forms of noble lineage. Requesting immediate attention. I frowned. Distress signals weren't uncommon, but noble lineage? That wasn't a usual designation from a random lost shuttle. Curious, I keyed the comm and patched through to the source. Who's calling? I asked. A soft, melodic voice answered, layered with a strange undertone that made my teeth tingle. Greetings, traveler. We are Princess Kyra and Princess Celine of the Draculan line. Your assistance is requested. There is a birthday celebration. I blinked, thinking the signal was corrupted. A birthday celebration? On a distress signal? Yes, Kyra said, her voice like velvet sliding over metal. A unique one. Your presence is required. I had no idea how far I was about to be pulled into a story I would never forget. The arrival. The coordinates led me to a small, shimmering planet orbiting a black sun. Its surface was dark, glossy, almost reflective, and the atmosphere shimmered like mercury under the stars' dim light. As I descended, I saw two figures waiting at the landing platform. At first glance, they looked human, but that notion disappeared instantly when I saw their eyes. One set glowed a deep crimson, the other a violet so rich it seemed unreal. Their skin was pale, almost translucent, and their hair cascaded like liquid metal, silver and black, flowing and alive. Phazon, Celine said, her violet eyes locking onto mine. Happy birthday. She inclined her head, and a strange warmth spread through me despite the eerie light. Kyra mirrored the gesture, her crimson gaze assessing me with an almost predatory grace. We've waited centuries to meet someone worthy of our attention, she said. I swallowed, my heart hammering. Thank you? But wait. 2 alien princesses for my birthday? They laughed softly in unison, a sound that made the air around us quiver. Not gifts, Kyra said, stepping closer. Challengers, companions, and perhaps something more. I realized quickly that nothing on this planet, or in this galaxy, was going to be ordinary. The Castle of Shadows. They led me into their palace, a structure that defied conventional architecture. It twisted skyward, with towers that curved impossibly and halls that seemed to stretch and fold around themselves. Light came from nowhere, yet illuminated everything in haunting clarity. This is incredible, I breathed. It's like the building itself is alive. Kyra's lips curved in a hint of a smile. It is. Draculan architecture bends reality. It resonates with the bloodlines that inhabit it. Celine guided me into a room lined with crystalline columns. Tonight, she said, you will understand the true meaning of a birthday in our culture. Before I could ask, the room darkened. The walls themselves seemed to ripple, and shadows gathered to form shapes, creatures with wings of night, fanged but elegant. They bowed as I stepped forward, their eyes shining like obsidian. They are our guardians, Kyra said. And tonight they honor you. You are special. I started to protest, but Celine's hand rested lightly on my shoulder. The touch sent an electric current through me, a strange pulse that matched the rhythm of my heartbeat. I realized then that the princess's presence alone altered the very environment. The game begins. The celebration was not what I expected. Instead of cakes and balloons, They handed me a ceremonial blade made of blackened crystal. "A test," Kyra said. "One to determine your worthiness." I held the blade cautiously. "Worthiness for what?" "For survival," Celine said softly. "And for companionship." They led me to an arena in the heart of the palace. The floor was polished obsidian, reflecting the starlight above. The shadows shifted again, forming monstrous shapes, each more terrifying than the last. "Your task," Kyra intoned, "is to survive the trial of the twins. Only then will you be considered for the honor you have unknowingly been granted." I swallowed hard and raised the crystal blade. The shadows lunged. The fight was unlike anything I'd faced. These creatures were not merely physical. They attacked my mind, filling it with visions of fear and doubt. But the princesses fought alongside me, not as humans would, but with a grace and power that defied logic. Kyra moved like a shadow herself, striking with speed that made my head spin. Celine's presence was more subtle, her power weaving a protective cocoon around me, her movements almost hypnotic. Hours, or perhaps minutes, passed. Time seemed irrelevant. Eventually, the final shadow collapsed into a mist that evaporated. My knees buckled, and the princesses caught me effortlessly. "You survived," Kyra said, her crimson eyes gleaming with approval. "Few have ever done so without succumbing to fear." And Celine added, her voice soft yet commanding, "You did it with honor. That matters to us more than skill." I couldn't speak, my mind still reeling from the fight. I had never felt anything like it, nor had I felt so alive. The bond. After the trial, they guided me to a quiet balcony overlooking the black sun. The city below twinkled like a sea of stars, alive and humming. Kyra sat beside me, Celine on the other side, and for a long while, none of us spoke. Finally, Kyra broke the silence. "Phazon, in our culture, the bond we form with someone like you is sacred. We don't give our allegiance lightly." Celine's violet eyes softened. "And birthdays are sacred to us. They mark the emergence of destiny. You are part of ours now." I swallowed, my chest tight. I don't know what to say. 2 centuries ago, if someone had told me I'd meet 2 alien vampire princesses on my birthday, I'd have laughed. Kyra smiled. "And yet here you are. Laughing is not required. Trust is." The word hung in the air. Trust. I felt it, not just in my mind, but physically, as if their presence had rewritten something inside me. "Then, I trust you," I whispered. Celine leaned closer. Her lips brushed my ear. "Then your destiny is intertwined with ours. We are yours, and you are ours." Revelations over the next few days, I learned more about the Draculan line than I could have imagined. They were not merely rulers. They were hunters, warriors, and guardians of ancient secrets. Their vampirism was not folklore, it was a sophisticated bioengineering trait designed to enhance strength, reflexes, and perception. Their longevity was measured in millennia, and they had chosen me, not by accident, but because I carried the rare gene of Luminar, a human bloodline with properties that harmonized with Draculan physiology. That gene made me resistant to their abilities, allowed me to fight alongside them, and, apparently, it made me irresistible to their kind. Kyra explained, "Few humans possess your resonance. It is why you survived the trial of the twins, and why we are bound to you now." Celine added, "You will help us protect our world, and we will teach you to wield power beyond your imagining." I realized then that my life, mundane and routine just a week ago, had become extraordinary. I was no longer just Phazon, captain of a modest freighter. I was a partner, a warrior, and potentially something more, in a civilization far older and far more complex than I'd ever dreamed. The final test on the 7th day of my stay, they brought me to the Crystal Hall, a cathedral-like chamber of diamond-clear columns that shimmered in every color of the spectrum. "This is the final test," Kyra said. "It is not of combat or skill, but of heart. You must choose." "Choose what?" I asked, wary. "To bond," Celine said. "Permanently. To accept us as partners, not just allies. Once the bond is sealed, your lifespans will merge. Your destinies, your fates, your bloodlines. You will be part of us, and we part of you." I hesitated. The idea was overwhelming. To share my life in such a way with beings so far beyond human comprehension was terrifying. And yet, when I looked into their eyes, Kyra's crimson fire and Celine's violet calm, I realized there was no other choice. My life had already changed. This was simply the formal acknowledgement. "I accept," I said finally. The hall glowed. Energy rippled through me, connecting me to the princesses in ways words cannot capture. I felt their memories, their strength, their history, and their love. And they felt mine. A surge of power and warmth enveloped us, binding 3 lives into one. The crystal hall shone brighter than 1,000 suns, and I laughed, not out of fear, but joy. I was home. A new beginning. The black sun rose over the horizon, bathing the planet in a strange golden hue. The palace's shadows danced in harmony with our new bond. The princesses stood beside me, their hands resting lightly on mine. "Happy birthday, Phazon," Kyra said, her voice both a whisper and a command. "Happy birthday," Celine echoed, her violet eyes gleaming. I smiled. My birthday, which had begun as any other, had transformed into a new life. With 2 alien vampire princesses by my side, I would explore galaxies, face untold dangers, and discover wonders I could never have imagined. And somehow I knew this was only the beginning. The stars called to us, and together we would answer. The black sun rose over the horizon, casting its strange golden glow across the reflective surface of the planet. The palace's towers glimmered like liquid metal, their impossible curves stretching toward the sky as if they, too, recognized the new bond that now existed between us. Kyra and Celine stood on the balcony beside me, their hands resting lightly on mine. "Happy birthday, Phazon," Kyra said, her crimson eyes softening with something more profound than amusement or power, a genuine warmth I had never experienced before. "Happy birthday," Celine echoed, her violet eyes shimmering with an almost ethereal light. I smiled, feeling a sense of calm I hadn't known in years. My birthday, which had begun as a mundane routine, floating alone on a ship, sipping synthetic whiskey, had transformed into a life-altering event. 2 alien vampire princesses, millennia old, had chosen me, not merely as a guest or a companion, but as an equal, a partner, and something more, something I didn't yet have words for. The palace seemed to breathe around us. Shadows that had once threatened to overwhelm me now flowed in harmony with the light, responding to the energy of our bond. I realized that the Draculan line and their entire world was alive in a way that transcended anything I had ever imagined. Their culture, their technology, and even their very existence were built upon millennia of mastery over body, mind, and energy. Kyra leaned closer, her voice a low, melodic whisper that seemed to vibrate through my bones. "From this moment forward, your life is no longer confined by the limits of humanity. You are part of us, and we are part of you. Together, we will explore galaxies, defend worlds, and create legends that will endure for centuries." Celine added, her hand brushing my cheek, sending a shiver of electricity through me. You will learn to wield powers you cannot yet imagine. But more importantly, you will learn to trust the strength within yourself, the strength that led you through the trial of the twins and brought you here. I closed my eyes, letting the weight of their words settle. The fear and hesitation I had felt during the trial, the awe and confusion of the past week, melted away. In their presence, I was stronger, faster, sharper, alive in ways I had never been before. The human part of me that had questioned my worthiness now felt certain I belonged here. Opening my eyes, I met theirs. I accept, I said, my voice steady. I accept this bond, this destiny, everything. If we are to face the universe together, then I want no part of it to be without you both by my side. The palace responded. Crystalline columns shimmered brighter, light rippling across the halls and spilling into the city below. Energy pulsed through me, connecting me to Kyra and Celine in a web of warmth, power, and shared consciousness. I could feel their memories, their victories, their losses, and their endless curiosity about the universe. And they could feel mine, the life I had lived, the battles I had fought, the human resilience that had survived countless odds. You have chosen wisely, Kyra said, her lips curving into a smile. Few humans possess the resonance to bond with the Draculan line. Your courage, your heart, it is rare, precious. Celine tilted her head, her violet gaze intense yet tender. And now, Phazon, you will no longer be limited by time or fear. The stars are yours to explore. The universe is yours to challenge. The realization hit me fully. My life was no longer my own, but neither was it bound by the ordinary rules that had confined me before. I had been elevated, chosen to walk among legends, to fight alongside beings whose power had shaped galaxies, and to live a life that most humans could only dream of. I felt the energy of the bond surge one final time, sealing our destinies together. Kyra and Celine pressed closer, their presence filling me completely. The golden light of the black sun seemed to flow through us, painting the horizon with colors I didn't have names for. I laughed, a clear, unburdened sound that echoed across the palace terraces and into the city below. Then let's go, I said, my voice carrying the certainty of someone who had faced death, fear, and the impossible, and had survived. Let's see what the universe has in store for us. Kyra's crimson eyes sparkled with amusement and determination. With you by our side, nothing is impossible. Celine's violet gaze met mine, calm and unwavering. The adventure begins now, Phazon, and it will be unlike anything the cosmos has ever seen. The black sun climbed higher, bathing the reflective planet in its strange golden light. I knew this world, these princesses, and the life I was about to live would shape me in ways I could never have imagined. But I also knew this. Humanity had given me something no alien power could replicate: courage, determination, and the capacity for choice. And it was that human heart that had earned me this incredible destiny. As we stepped back into the palace, ready to prepare the stellar venture for a journey across galaxies, I looked at Kyra and Celine and realized that birthdays weren't merely markers of time. They were moments of transformation, thresholds between the life you knew and the life you were meant to live. And this birthday had changed everything. Together, we would journey to the stars, challenge the limits of existence, and carve our own legend into the tapestry of the universe. The princesses by my side were no longer gifts, no longer tests. They were my partners, my allies, and perhaps, in some way, my family. And as the first light of the black sun shimmered across the palace towers, I knew one thing for certain: the universe would never be the same again. I had survived the trial. I had earned their trust. And I had discovered that the heart of humanity could thrive, even among the most alien and powerful beings in existence. The adventure had only just begun.